This is how I overcame the odds for one of Pokemon's holiest grails. Humongous shout out to Amabushi. Now last year, we took a look back at Pokemon Crystal, the homeland of the series' most iconic Easter egg, shiny encounters. On top of that, we took a look at a gimmicky little method that expedites the odds tremendously using a time-traveling shiny Ditto. Since making that video, especially nowadays with the return of Fire Red and Leaf Green, all these new shiny hunters going crazy over the classic odds, I've got tons of curious messages from people wondering if I'm still out shopping for milk. Well, I'm pleased to report it's time to take it to the fridge. So off the cuff, on a fundamental level, it's kind of important to note that Gen 3's shinies are a completely different animal to Gen 2's, not just in the fact that most of them got redesigned. Rather, the calculation that determines a shiny encounter has been reworked to a point where there's no gimmicky methods to Generation 3. But that in no way is to say it's impossible. As in Gen 3, our best friend is actually the janky RNG algorithm itself, which thanks to primitive technology at the time, couldn't be programmed to be truly random. So you're going to want to start a new game, introduce yourself to Professor Oak, and save at the Desk of Fate right before choosing your starter, same as it ever was. Don't touch that dial now, we're just getting started. This is the important part. While one of these numbers you can view in-game on your ID card, you're going to need some way to pry out your second secret ID. Now to rip the band-aid off here, because you're not able to readily view the save file on the Switch version, I'm gonna have to leave you to keep trucking with the old-fashioned way. Y'all are gonna want to burn me at the stake for this, but hear me out. With our copy of the save file in hand, we're going to transfer it to a PC, and we're going to be peering into our copy of the save file with a program called PKHex, which, yeah, it's a notorious hacking tool for the competitive side where you can generate and inject all sorts of Pokemon. All we're going to want to do is go to the trainer info tab, peer into it like a crystal ball, and we'll be able to take note of the second secret ID. Then we're going to want to open up a web browser and head to a site called Lincoln's 10 Lines, where we'll feed it the two trainer IDs and make sure our in-game settings match these toggles. Then we let it know which shiny target we're looking for and click generate. Now upon clicking generate, a whole bunch of targets with two sets of coordinates ought to show up. Time for our final download. Das Ampharos' Eon Timer. Set it to sync with the console you're using and make a custom configuration to start with the boot up sequence in milliseconds and the frame advances in, well, frame advances. Now most people like their timers to go off with 6 beeps. I'm a crazy person who thinks 5 is snappier. Precisely in sync with the A press into booting the game up, activate the countdown. Get used to Gengar and Nidorino because you have to watch this full cutscene without skipping it every time for a proper hard boot up sequence. Now as you reach the title screen, your first timer's probably about to go off. Exactly on the last beep, press and hold the A button from the Charizard or Venusaur to the file select. Now as fast as possible once you make it in game, reach this dialog box right before picking up your starter. Exactly in sync with the last beep, make another A press to select your starter. Now if you've got cracked reflexes and first tried your starter, congrats.